So, good afternoon, colleagues and senior colleagues. We want to welcome you to today's mentorship session. We have with us here our guests. However, we want to wait for an additional 10 minutes to get people to join the platform. I would plead that we draw our attention to the program on the platform so that people can join and we start exactly 4:10. Thank you very much. Guests, pardon us for the delay and being online so that we can start soon. Thank you.
That's fine, Dr. Pasha. Thank you.
Okay, good. So good afternoon, colleagues and senior colleagues. And we have gathered here today to learn about our profession and also have one of our senior colleagues share her experience with us. I want to, on behalf of the National Executive Council and the President, welcome all of us to today's meeting. Today's meeting is proudly sponsored by Pharma Ghana Limited, and we'll be giving them an opportunity to share their portfolio with us. Today we have one of our sisters who would be telling us her professional history, some of the things she has achieved throughout her professional life, and also some of the recommendations she has for us. I will not be doing this alone. I have a team that does most of the work. So I recognize Dr. Edu Jesse, who is very instrumental in this program, Bernard Jan, and also Emmanuel Salia. They will join us as the discussions goes on. So just to begin with, I want to introduce to us a young lady who is a deputy chief medical laboratory scientist and has over 20 years experience in our practice. Her expertise is mostly in clinical microbiology, and she works with the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, specifically the Central Laboratory, where she holds the position as the client department manager. She, as already mentioned, she's an expert in medical microbiology with particular focus in diagnostics, research, surveillance, and mentorship of the next generation of medical laboratories professionals. She holds a Doctor of Med Lab Science degree from the University for Development Studies, a Master of Philosophy in Clinical Microbiology from Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, a bachelor's degree in Medical Laboratory Science from the University of Ghana. She has also earned certificate in Leadership and Health Service Administration and Management from the University of Washington and the Presbyterian University of Ghana, respectively. And she's guided by her strong faith in God and the belief in making a positive impact wherever she finds herself. I'm sure today she will share with us some of the positive impacts, the people she has mentored, and what they are doing so far. So, Dr. Okan, you are welcome to today's session. But before that, I want to take some comment from my co-hosts. Emmanuel Sally, are you around?
Yes, please. I'm here.
All right. So can we have any comment from you as we start the program?
Yep. So all that I will say is that this is an important session that scientists should take seriously. And then I'm so happy and grateful that Dr. Esther Okan consented to be part of this program. I believe that we will surely learn a lot from her today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We also want to use the opportunity to recognize all of us. I can see senior people on the platform. I can see the immediate past chapter chairman for Kolebu Teaching Hospital branch of our association, Dr. Francis Kwachi Entui. I can see Dr. Thomas Dankwa. I can see Dr. Suarez Sweden. I can see our senior Filippobi, our senior patient Stanson, and all of you. You are all welcome to today's session. I can see also Dr. Joanna Trasam and our Executive Secretary, Dr. James Tete Walo Yahweh, and many of you. I can see even one of us who traveled outside the country, Ishmael Obin Ofosu, and I'm sure he's very much interested in today's discussion. I can see Hepzibah Ochibafor and a whole lot of us. I think as the time goes on, we'll recognize our seniors. I initially saw Dr. Francis Osher in the meeting. So, Dr. Okan, you are welcome to today's session. There are a lot of people who do not know you. We want you to just put your camera on and tell us who you are. Tell us briefly about yourself, your academic career, and who actually you are. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Solomon Kwashi. I don't know if I can be seen.
Very well. We can see your face. You look beautiful.
Thank you very much. In my Gamls t-shirts, right?
Yes.
Yes.
We are still in the professionalism month and we have to exhibit our brand. So
yes,
we are grateful for that.
Thank you for having me. Good afternoon to everyone. This is Esther Okine. I am very grateful to be here this afternoon with us. I want to thank God for the opportunity, this beautiful day, good internet, everything going on well. I want to thank the executive of Gamls for allowing this program to come on and to see it's proper to have me here. I will keep my camera on for a short time and then put it off. Okay, so I am a medical laboratory scientist, deputy chief medical laboratory scientist with over 20 years of experience in clinical microbiology and leadership. Yes. So I joined this noble profession. I will start by saying how I got into this noble profession of medical laboratory science. My mom was a health worker. And as we were growing up, she would come home with stories from the hospital, how she helped this case, how she was able to stitch this cut, how she was able to set this difficult line, how they were able to resuscitate this person who was rushed in during the night, almost dying, and get him back. And growing up, hearing all those little stories, it made me admire her. And then I admired the profession of working in the health sector. So I told myself that I would be working in the health sector. But I had a challenge. Anytime I visited her in the hospital, for whatever reason, dental appointments, I realized I couldn't, I didn't have the heart to stand seeing people with big gaping wound, bleeding wound, vomiting in pain. I realized I didn't have the heart to stand it. So it made me start questioning myself. Will I be able to do this hospital thing, health working thing? Will it come on? Well, so that was just a thought that came. And as we were growing, as a young lady, TV was our world. And I remember far back watching a soap opera on Metro TV. It was called The Bold and the Beautiful. The young ones don't know about it. So this program, there was this scene. I saw a young, beautiful lady wearing her white lab coat. She had this pensive look on her face. For the first time, I saw an automated pipette. She was pipetting into some beautiful test tubes. And the serene aura, yeah, it's drew me in. I admire that. I'm like, wow, this is a nice profession. This won't be a nice profession. This won't be a bad profession to pursue. Okay. So far back, fast forward when I completed my secondary school education, that was in 1999. We had to discuss going to school. But you know, when I was growing up, I was always going to the hospital. I'll go to the hospital, they would take my blood. I was entering the lab. But then, because maybe I was so concerned about the procedure of them taking my blood, I didn't look at that profession as something I want to do. Maybe I thought all my mind was on how to bear the pain of the blood collection and all those things. But seeing that picture, that scene, and getting to know more about the lab, I said, okay, so lab people also work in the hospital. And they work in the hospital, but then they are helping clients, they are helping patients, but they will not see the patients. They won't see the big wounds. They won't see the pain. They won't see all those things that I couldn't stand. Then I said, okay, then this won't be a bad choice for me. And so I wanted to do medical lab science. Far back then, I wanted to do medical lab science. So after my secondary school education, 1999, that was in December, we had to talk as a family about my career, my educational progress. So the financial situation at home then wasn't going to see for my parents to They could have taken me to university, but then I might have struggled through because of the financial situation at home. And so I had uncles and aunties who were trained teachers, and I was encouraged to join the teacher training because one, it was free back then, and they were giving allowance. And so that would have helped a lot with my parents in taking care of me. They would have gotten the things needed for me to go, and then tuition will be free and I'll get some allowance on top. But I just didn't want to do teaching. I just didn't want to go to the teacher training. It became a tackle at home. Well, I was still adamant. And so one day my mom discussed with someone at work, a gentleman, she can't seem to remember his name. And the man said, oh, there is a school in Kolebu, a school for the Ministry of Health, and they train pure medical laboratory scientists. And it is purely based on qualification. The competition is high, but then if you are really qualified, you will sail through. Okay, so that was the first information we got about the med lab thing. Pressure was building because my friends, some of them were going to school and I was still at home. So there was the need for my mom to bring a specimen to pathology lab in Kolebu far back then. And this gentleman told her that the school wears uniform. The school that trains med lab scientists, they wear uniform. So she came to pathology, and when she was returning, she saw several students coming out. And then she said she waited till she was comfortable with someone. And then she felt comfortable with a certain gentleman, and then she stopped that gentleman. And that gentleman is Dr. Emmanuel Adepa Adapo of, if I am right, Greater Accra Regional Hospital. So she stopped him and said, I have a daughter who wants to come to do this course. And he said, this year's admission is over. However, I can take your contact. You can take mine. When next year's admission comes, I will let you know. So be watching the graphic space. Those days, the advert for the School of Medical Laboratory Technology, it was advertised in the graphic. And so she came home with that good news. I was elated. I was so happy. And so whilst waiting to get information for this new school, I took up a job at Adom Medical Lab in Tema Community 5, Adom Medical Lab. So I took up a job there, working in the lab. And far back then, while I was working in the lab, it even grew my interest more to pursue this course. And the good thing about it all was this course was equally taken care of by the Ministry of Health. And on top, we were given free accommodation. And on top, we were given allowance back then. And so it was a win-win for us all. So fast forward to 2021, I went for the interview. And by the grace of God, I sailed through. And that is how come I found myself living the dream of becoming a medical laboratory scientist. I think I'll pause here and then allow you to continue. Thank you. And I may have to put off my camera here. Thank you. Dr. Kwashi.
Yeah, thank you very much. Your story will be inspiring. Fortunately, I also share some of your experiences. I actually was not supposed to become a medical laboratory scientist. I was supposed to be a nurse, and I found my way here. The only difference is that you saw the passion on TV, and when your mother confirmed the vision, you ended up here. So you started as a certificate holder. How was the experience then?
Okay.
Coming to a profession, and the least you could start with was a certificate in medical laboratory science. How was the experience?
Okay. So thank you very much. So like I said, this profession was a win-win for me because this med lab thing was new. We hardly knew people who were med lab scientists. Back then, we didn't have, like we have now, secondary schools having people coming to pitch professions. So it was like I was taking something new home. And then my prayer was that this thing will manifest. And truly, it came through. My parents were happy because they didn't have to put in too much to put me in school. So I was so happy. And then one thing far back was when we were coming to school, the program then was said to be a diploma in medical laboratory science. A diploma in medical laboratory science. So when we came and we completed, there was a bit of back and forth. First, it was the program was not accredited. Second, a whole lot of issues. And so finally, we had to settle with certificates. And I must say that even though I was elated being here, that was one of the challenges in my career life. Because just imagine yourself coming to school, everything on the paper documents was saying you are coming to do a diploma in med lab. After completion, now where you'll be settled has become a problem until finally Ghana Health Service said, fine, they will give us our certificates so that we can start our profession. And far back then, I won't say it was bad off because far back then, we didn't have much BSc students in the system. We didn't have, it was just a few diploma students and then the certificate. That was the main core of the students, certificate in med lab. So it wasn't far back. I wasn't disappointed. I didn't feel too bad doing certificates. I was very happy to be able to do the career that I really wanted to do. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so when we saw your CV, we realized that from certificate, you had a diploma, you went to do a BSc, a master's degree, a doctor of med lab science degree, and currently pursuing a PhD in medical microbiology. Now, with all these challenges, why didn't you leave this profession? With the initial challenges you faced, why didn't you leave the profession and you are still here?
Okay. So, thank you. Like I said, I was happy to do the course of my dreams. So when we were done with the training in School of Medical Laboratory Science, one good thing for us back then in those days was job availability. There was readiness or there was job availability. As soon as you were done, because the school was by the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Health, we were quickly mopped up into the health sectors. And so I had my job security. Right after school, I had a job in Korle Teaching Hospital. And when we started the program, the career, not more than 6 months, we were quickly called back because like I was saying, that's fraction going back and forth. Now, the Ministry of Education was going to take over the school, which is under Ministry of Health. And so they quickly called us back to school for us to do a top-up to get a diploma from the University of Ghana. So it was exciting to know that in spite of all this, there is a career path that when we follow, we can quickly improve and increase in the career, in the profession-wise. Yeah, thank you.
All right, that is inspiring. It means that you were interested in securing your job. The allowances were also enticing, and also the fact that the challenges you faced was not a permanent disability. Now, so we want to look at the training then, and with your experience, what was the skill sets you acquired during your training at the School of Medical Laboratory Technology?
Okay, thank you very much. So, naive as I was when I came to school, and also maybe because I had a bit of experience from working at Adult Medical Lab, I thought that as soon as we came to school, we'd jump straight into the profession proper, we'd be asked to bleed patients, we'd be asked to run tests. But then for a whole year, we had to do courses like communication skills, health law, African studies, all those courses. And I realized that this is a holistic program we are doing. It's not just, even though it is purely med lab, it encompasses other things that will help us in our career development. I will say that the program we did back then was of high quality. Back then, the principal was Mr. Aite, was of high quality. I am afraid to say that it seems we are watering down what we are teaching. I always tell my students when they come back on the benches that it seems the past students are much, much better than you guys. And they always try and argue, but I said, I know what I'm talking about. So I will say, Dr. Kwashi, that the information we got back then for even the certificates, the diploma was top-notch. This afternoon, I was having a conversation with my friend Joanna of Lekma Hospital, and we're saying how one of our seniors said, if you come to lab tech school, there is no program you cannot do, because what we went through, it prepared us for any other program that you want to do, no matter how difficult it is. Yes, so education-wise, I will say that we got a lot. If we were paying, we got value for our money. Yes. Thank you.
All right. I want to recognize the presence of our president, Dr. Eric Edu. He was initially online, but I cannot see him. I'm sure he will come in and share some thoughts with us. And let me also congratulate you for being the first lady to join this program. His vision is to empower ladies. Initially, we had some challenges getting ladies on this platform. And let me also congratulate you for the fact that when we approached you the first time, you didn't turn it down. So you are a pace setter, and I know that you are opening doors to other people, to other ladies especially, to showcase what they have done for the profession and what they can do. I would,
thank you very much.
at this point, hand over to Emmanuel to also continue the conversation.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Kwashi, for the opportunity. And Dr. Esther Kain, I'm so glad that I'm interacting with you once again today. I think a few weeks ago, we had a program, we had a webinar on the role of laboratory scientists in disease outbreaks and surveillance, and you really did very well. The feedback we had has been so impressive when it comes to the diagnostic discussions we had on that program. And so I do not actually doubt your capabilities and your leadership skills. But then I would want to take you through a few questioning, and it will be a conversation that we are going to have actually. Yes, so you have shared with us what actually inspired you to become a medical laboratory scientist today. And I think that truly resonates with most of us. But then I would like to know if you are able to share with us any memorable case or any breakthrough in diagnostics that reinforced your passion for the profession when you started practicing. It could be that something probably would have caused you to have a change in mind or probably digressing your career path. But has there been any breakthrough in diagnostics that reinforced your passion for the profession?
Thank you very much, Emmanuel Salia. I think we have met once and I enjoyed our time together. Yeah. So thankfully, I haven't had any regrets coming into this profession. I haven't had anything to make me think I am in the wrong profession. One, because I am not stagnant. I am seeing development in my career. And I have satisfaction with what I am doing. Seeing the patient happy, seeing the patient with a result that can help in diagnosing, in managing the condition, it makes me satisfied. The contribution I add to the medical team as a whole to make patient management a success makes me satisfied. So I don't think I am going back, or I have not had any instance of regretting or wanting to change my career. However, with the growth, with development in diagnostics, we came into med lab. Back then, I don't know how many of us knew that we used to pipette drapkins. I don't know how many of us, Ima, do you know about that pipetting of drapkins? We had.
Yes, I think I experienced that at Tamale Teaching Hospital when I was an intern.
Really? Then you are one of the old guys, right?
Yeah, that was 2014, 2015.
That shouldn't have been 2014, 2015 is a blunder to be doing pipetting back then. Anyway, maybe because of infrastructure in that area. But this was in the 2000s, 2001, 2002. When we went to hematology department, we had to pipette drapkins. If you are lucky and you have that balloon suction, ball suction, you will get it. Now, see the advancements in diagnostic skills. And we are still going high. We are moving from general antimicrobial therapy to targeted therapy to even phage therapy. We may be far back in Ghana, but then there's hope looking at how things are moving fast in diagnostics. And you know, medical lab science, we have a lot of mandates, but one of the core mandates is diagnosis. No matter what, one of the core mandates is diagnosis. And we realize the importance of early diagnosing in patient management. So we have advanced technology that makes turnaround time shorter. All these things make you admire the profession. You want to learn more. You want to get more experience. And so, Salia, I have not had any regrets coming in here. Rather, with the fast movement of diagnostics in our career, it's making me want to pursue it more and more. Thank you.
That's really impressive. I'm so impressed about the breakthrough that actually reinforced your passion for the profession. You know, a few days ago, I was in one department and my colleagues were lamenting about this profession. And then I wasn't pleased that interns that were in that department were being discouraged to look elsewhere. So, Dr. Okan, I would want to find out from you, with your 20 years of clinical experience or laboratory experience, what key changes do you think that we need to enforce in this profession that will actually rebrand the image of the profession and make it so attractive and lucrative to upcoming scientists?
Okay. Thank you very much, Ima. So before I tackle this, I want to give you some of the challenges that I in person have experienced in these years, and then I'll zoom in to answer this question. So like I said initially, when I started the career, there was this whole back and forth. You are here, you are here, you are here, you are here, you are not here. And it was quite a bit discouraging. But then this is where we are. This is where we have found ourselves. Like I said, you have to make the best of wherever you are, you find yourself. So we held on and we were able to sail through. Now, thankfully, the organogram is well laid out. I know there are a lot of people here listening who may have certificates in MedLab, who may have diploma in MedLab. There is still hope. You can still rise up, right? You can still, with determination, you can still rise up in the career. So that was one of the challenges. As in, we did not know where we were going to.
Next time I would
Another challenge was with career direction. Far back then, we didn't know you'll be there and you say, hey, degree about degree. Now there's degree, let's go and do degree. You'll be there, let's go and do it. And anytime there was an introduction of a new career progression program, there'll be people who will say, there's no need, there's no need, there's no need. Some will stay back, some will go and do it. And then before we realize, what was said to be of no need will become the new norm. All right, so one of the challenges we had far back then was career direction. It wasn't too smooth, but now it is smooth. Also, far back then, I thought we were putting in so much. We were putting in so much effort than what was being given back to us in remuneration. Med lab scientist salary was very bad far back then. Now, it is okay, but there's still room for improvement. There's still room for improvement. And then also, one of the challenges that I had back then was, even now, is that you get experience on new equipment or new technology skills in diagnosis, and then you come back to your units and you don't have those equipment to work with. You read of high throughput equipment, you don't have them to work with in your unit. All those things were challenges that I faced, and I believe most of my colleagues faced when we were going through these years of practice. Now, to the young MLS out there, like I said, now the career path is well spelled out. Look at these mentorship programs. They will help direct you. Like I said, the salary is not too bad. It's not too bad. Even though there's room for improvement, at least if you live within your means, you can be able to sail through the month. It's not too bad, but there's still room for improvement. And then now, thankfully, even if you can't, at first we used to see this equipment on the internet, but now there are units around that you can even go and have an internship and be practicing using this equipment. So young MLS, the future is bright, right? The future is bright. You are in a bright career. We, in those bad times, were able to hold through, and look at us now. So please don't be discouraged. I don't know whatever, I really wish I could know what the topic was that was being used to discourage them. But if it comes to salary, it is better than at first, and there's still room for improvement. You can have other jobs at the side. If it comes to career direction, there are people around to guide you. And MedLab is now multifaceted. You can branch into any other field. Even though we want to keep you here in this field, it is far, far, far better. Whatever is confusing you, whatever is making you think you need to change career path, please seek counsel. Seek counsel, speak to someone, and then make a good decision, because this is a good career. Maybe people came in this career because they were disappointed and they didn't get what they want, and then they had to end up here. And so people like that may give out a bad fuss about the career. But then, if you really chose this career as a passion, knowing what you want to do, I don't think anything should make you sway off. You should become better rather. You should become better. All right. Thank you, Ima.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Okain. Indeed, that is inspiring. I truly wish a lot of the young ones would have the opportunity to really listen to your submission. I am so impressed here. But Dr. Okain, so with your role as a Deputy Chief Medical Laboratory Scientist, and you have had training in leadership and health administration. You are the head of the client service at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. You know, many of the young ones in medical laboratory science actually sees that as a second option. I believe you would have encountered students in your department probably lamenting about the fact that they were not picked for medicine, and that is why they opted for medical laboratory science. So as your role, in your role as a Deputy Chief MLS, what has been your leadership approach when it comes to mentorship and leadership? And what will you suggest leaders, other head of departments or managers in various departments employ in ensuring that such students or such professionals actually give in to the dream they could not realize and accept the fact that medical laboratory science is an option that's worth it? I don't know if my question is clear, but I could take it again.
Okay, Ima, let me tackle it, and if I omit something, you can come back.
That's fine.
Okay. So as a Deputy Medical Lab Scientist, there are a lot of roles in there. Like you rightly said, managerial roles, supervisory roles. You are involved in certain SOPs, policies, a whole lot. Okay. So I was trying to find a nice account adage to coin this, but I'm not getting it. Let me try and explain it. How do we carry ourselves as professionals? How do we carry ourselves as professionals? Are we living a life in a way to motivate or impress the upcoming or next generation med lab scientists? How do we present ourselves? How, when it comes to our career, even when it comes to part of our personal life, how do we present ourselves? I want to say that, thankfully, which I'm very happy, I've had several people and their parents come to me, maybe in our neighborhood, in church, because they say they want their children to do the course I am doing. So it means that they are seeing something good in me. Okay. So if you don't carry yourself professionally in a manner that will, and what's the word? That will entice or make it appealing for others to join, you are not helping the profession. So as leaders, we should carry ourselves professionally so that people will want to emulate what we have done. As for mentorship, because of where I find myself in a teaching hospital, I can confidently say that I can't tell the numbers. I've been working for almost 20 years. And if, let's say, every year we get 50 students, and all of them will pass through microbiology, you can just make the numbers up. So, thankfully, by the grace of God, a lot of young medical lab scientists have passed through my hands, and they can attest that when I am teaching, I pour out my all. I make sure that you get the best you can get when you are with me on the bench. It may even spill over from career-wise to even other personal matters. How you relate to the young MLS or the students will afford, whether they will open up to you about other matters. Like I said, you have to brighten the corner where you are. God puts you there for a particular reason. And so wherever you find yourself, make sure that you have a good impact. So thankfully, lots of students, lots of med lab students, even physicians, because at first they were coming through the lab, have passed through my hands when it comes to training and mentorship. Also, I think what we can do to make the profession appealing to the young ones is to expose them, in our institutions. Let's have programs, workshops, webinars, if possible, exchange programs, so that they can experience other sides of the profession. And this will make them love what they are doing. Sometimes, I always say that in Kolebu, you're always working under your boss, because if your teacher, let me use Mr. Sowa as an example. Mr. Sowa was a teacher. He taught me. And so when I came to work, I will always be a subordinate, right? No big deal about that, but we should try and empower them, expose them to programs, expose them to workshops, seminars, so that they will also be more equipped. They will see the future, they will see what they are going into, so that they can be more happy with the profession, the career they are in. I don't know if I was able to.
You did, but I would come with a follow-up question so that you could deal with the last part of the question that skipped you. Okay. So yes, so that is impressive. So from your end, you have carried out a lot of mentorships, and students that probably goes through or pass through your hands would attest to the fact that you actually put them on their toes and ensure that they do the right things. Now, Dr. Okain, what strategies would you suggest to fellow head of departments? You know, we are having various departments in our facility. Sorry, I think someone is interjecting.
Wow.
Yes, so Dr. Ken, sorry. So, you know, our health facilities are into various departments, especially when you come to the teaching hospitals, and each department has a head, and his style of leadership may not be the same as the other in other departments. So what strategies would you suggest to fellow heads of departments that would help build up the next generation of medical laboratory scientists? There is a certain pattern of mentorship given to students when they move from one department to the other. Because there is always break.
Please come again.
Yes, okay. So
the confusion in the background. Yeah.
I'm saying that when you come to our health facilities, you know, we are having various departments when you come to the lab. And yes, for instance, the teaching hospitals, and each department has a head. And so from your end, I can attest to the fact that students that pass through your hands would always say you put them on their toes and you ensure that they do the right things. So I am asking, what strategies would you suggest to other heads of departments that would enhance effective mentoring and training of the next generation of medical laboratory scientists? So that it doesn't happen that when one goes to a department, what happens there, or the mentorship he goes in there, there is a break in chain when he or she moves to another department, like we see in our facilities. So I'm just asking, what strategies would you suggest to other heads of departments that will enhance an effective mentoring and training of the next generation of medical laboratory scientists? I don't know if I'm clear now.
Okay, all right, Ima, thank you very much. So let me use what happens in Central Lab as an example. Irrespective of what happens in each department, there is a body in charge of all interns, right? And so there's I think it's monthly meetings for all interns. And there's a protocol, a program spelled out throughout the whole year for them. It comes with profession, things about Gamls, things about male pool, things about their studies or their researches, and then things about the actual work we are doing. And so it is something uniform, right? So every intern in the central laboratory on, I think it's the third Thursday of every month, knows there's a meeting from this time to this time where we train them. Okay. So that cuts across all other departments. Now, when it gets to the department itself, I think leaders should be involved. Leaders should be involved. We should set tasks for these students. Sometimes we just use them. Come, do this, pipettes, centrifuge, do this, do this, do this, just to augment our work. But we should know that they are future med lab scientists. And so we should get them involved. It shouldn't be only in one department. So like in Central Lab, there is a uniform program for all of them. You come, you present, we'll give you a topic, you come, you listen to what we have for you, so that we know that at the end of the day, everyone has gotten something. I also think we should have something like a log for each student. If you come to campus, this is what you are supposed to know. There's a logbook. And then this is vetted or validated by the supervisor every month. I remember far back those days, we had additional duty hours. You have to go to the supervisor and he has to make sure that you worked to get, before you get that money. Here, they at the end of the month, they just come sign for me and I'll go for my money from the National Service Secretariat. But I think we should tax them. We should have a log for them so that at the end of the day, from this department, we know you have been able to learn all these things. Even if possible, we can have questions for them to answer, making sure that after your 1 month stay in chemical pathology, you are well versed in this area. And once I have signed as a supervisor, I know that I have trained you in that field. If we have this in every department, and then we have the laboratory as a whole unit, the program they draw for them, I think it will be a holistic program for the interns to enjoy whilst in our space. I think this can be done or simulated by other leaders in other hospitals. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Okain. Dr. Kwashi, I don't know if I still have enough time. I still have about 3 questions and a follow-up question. I don't know if I can still.
So I think we have enough time. So just hold on with your questions and I'll come in for a few minutes.
Okay,
I also want to, at this point, I want to recognize the presence of our PRO, Dr. Gloria Amegache. Dr. Amegache, are you online? I think I saw her online some few minutes ago. All right. So Dr. Amegache is online and she will be joining us on this platform in some days to come. So Dr. Okain, we also saw in your CV that you currently manage the client department of the Central Lab. Why client service? You were trained as a medical laboratory scientist. Why did you accept this position?
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Kwashi. So for the setup in the Central Lab, we have a front desk, that's the client service unit, and then we have the testing areas. So the client service unit takes care of the clients. And even as we may know that ISO, one of the rules is that the patient should not come into contact with the testing areas. And so we always segregate to make sure the client's area is different from the testing area. So client service in Central Lab embodies collecting samples, sorting them out, giving them barcodes or receiving them into our laboratory information systems, and then dispatching them to the testing areas. And also, when the results are ready, we give the results out to them. Another task is for us to go to the wards, meet the clients, so that they don't have to work all here. I was trained as a medical lab scientist, microbiology particularly, but I was called to come and be the client service supervisor. It was a bit difficult, but I had to accept it because it kept on coming. And I accepted it because I wanted to explore another side of me, the leadership side of me. When I came in, I had about 40 staff to work with. It was a whole new experience, a whole new experience. I wanted to explore the leadership side of me, and I'm even happy I took it because it brought out a whole lot in me. And also for us to know that every stage in laboratory practice is important. The fact that you sit at the client service unit, the fact that you tell the clients you have urine culture to do, it's important because a bad sample is equal to a bad report. At the client service department, you're able to tell the patient, you need a midstream urine for this test. You don't need to take this before you produce this sample. And all these things are technical, right? And it is not a job that we say we should sideline for people who don't have degree or diploma in med lab. And so I took it up wholeheartedly to experience the other side of myself when it comes to leadership. Yeah, thank you very much.
I want to find out, share with us, from the conversation, you are saying that the laboratory work is not just about the fact that you will have to analyze a sample, no matter how it came in, and give a report out and just leave it like that. The client is important, and our role is to ensure patient safety in all aspects of our work. What have you learned so far after taking this role? And what do you think you were not doing well previously and you can now do better? And also share with us some of the innovations you have implemented and the success rates.
Okay, I'm putting down your points. What I have learned so far, innovations, and then what else?
What are the successes you can share with us?
All right. Okay, so being at the client service unit, I have learned to respect every cadre of professional. One, everyone's job is important. Several times when we were in our testing areas, we will say this sample is keeping long. Just go and sit at the client service and talk to two patients, and you realize a whole lot goes into it. So I've learned to respect every cadre of profession in the med lab. I've also learned to be more empathetic. Remember, I said that I wanted to help the clients without seeing them. I mean, most times I won't see them. Even though in microbe, sometimes you have to see the clients. But here, you see the client and you feel for them. You get to the hospital around 7, and someone had been sitting at 4 a.m., waiting for you to come, or waiting for the doctor to come. And so you really feel you have much empathy for the clients, and that wants to make you put out more for the clients. I've also learned the importance of teamwork. The importance of teamwork. Like I said, we go to the wards to bring samples for analysis. And so we have to be, one, proper communication, proper documentation, proper feedback. I have learned all those things. They help a whole lot in the quality of service we give. When we come to, and I've learned to deal with all kinds of people, right? Managing people is not easy. I've learned to meet different kind of people, different personalities, and it's been interesting because we've had a healthy relationship since I took up. Now, for the successes, we have been able to put in patients' privacy. At first, our phlebotomy room was one open room, but then clients need to have privacy during sample collection. So now we have nice cubicles in there for for the clients. We were able to get onto the barcode generation. At first, we had to just give it accession numbers, but now we have barcodes that equipment can scan the barcode, and then you don't have to now come and enter the patient's name, patient ID onto the machine. The barcode will just feed it, and then with that, you can dispatch. We have also been able to improve the clients, improve the staff. Yes. A lot of them have been able to better themselves, acquire experience, and also we've had a lot of training on customer service, on being more kind and tolerant and understanding when it comes to the patients. Yes, we've also been able to assist with the ISO 15189 accreditation for the central lab whilst we are waiting for our reports. Yes, so there's been a lot of achievements in my succession as the client service supervisor. Another big thing that I'm so proud of is for us to set satellite units at testing areas. At times we will have our people coming from ANC, maternity people having to walk all the way and coming to the lab just to access healthcare. But now we have effective satellite units at maternity, we have it at accident emergency, we have collection points at PICU, we have at the diabetic units. Yes, so we have been able to reach our clients and make the process seamless for them. Thank you.
So from what I've gotten from your answers, it means that as a leader in the med lab sector, you need to be proactive. You need to be innovative. You don't need to wait for people to come to you. You need to follow up your people to make a mark. We congratulate you for this innovation. Now, one of the things written about our profession is that we are people who work behind the scene. And we continue to pride ourselves as people who work behind the scene. In your work as a client service supervisor or manager, do you think that we need to revisit this conversation of being described as people who work behind the scene and start engaging our clients for them to understand us, know what we do, and also contribute to the betterment of their results and services they get from us?
Dr. Kwashi, thank you very much for this question. In fact, it's a very, 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 very dire issue. I think the narrative should start changing. We call ourselves the heroes behind. We should be involved. We should be part of the team. And being at the client service, I have seen so many things that tells me of the lapses. Let me just make a few examples. Last time, there was this case that came in. There was blood in, I think it was a gel separator or EDTA tube. And then the patient had ice block in bare aqua container, and it was tied to it. I think the doctor told him to put the sample close to the block. And when he came, he said he was doing blood culture. He was doing blood culture in a gel separator. And so this was not from the hospital, it was outside, it was a private hospital. I called and I asked to speak to the lab scientist there. And like I said, professionalism was zero. I could feel the guy wavering as a leaf. His confidence was zero. And I asked, my dear, what do you want to do? He said, blood culture. I said, then why did you put the blood culture into a gel separator tube? Then he said, oh, it was not me, it was a doctor. And I was like, okay, fine, I want to talk to the doctor. And then they had to cut the call and call me back. Everyone was trying to hide. I said, no, my dear, you are a lab scientist, aren't you? I just want to educate you. He said he was off. It was a doctor. I spoke with the doctor. What do you want to do? Is it blood culture? This is the wrong tube. Why? Where are you? Can we come and train you? This is from outside. Sometime in my own hospital, a client comes in with blood in a syringe, and the blood was already clotted, and the patient was doing blood culture, and the blood had clotted in the syringe. And the notes from the physician was, I can't open the Bactec bottle. I don't have what we used to open the Bactec bottle. So open it and put it inside. And we all know that black culture has a suction top. You take off the metal, you disinfect, and then you put in your blood. The patient came with clotted blood in a syringe that we should put it in. So we realize day in, day out. I can go on and on. Sometimes he'll be in the lab, a doctor will come and say, I need sensitivity pattern for Bacillus species, or I need sensitivity pattern for maybe Staph aureus from a site where, Staph epidermidis, sorry, from a site where it's deemed as a commensal. And all these things makes us, made me know that we don't have to be behind the scene again. We don't have to be behind the scene. We have to be part of the team. We have to be part of the team doing a ward round. We have to put in our suggestions. So we have to put in our suggestions on the wards. So we need to be part of the team. We don't have to be behind. We need to educate. We have to be part of the education team in the hospital. We have to be part of the ward rounds in the hospital because we have a whole lot of information to give for the better patient management. I think I will leave it here for now, Dr. Pash. Over to you.
All right. So yesterday, I was at the program and one of our senior colleagues was not happy about the fact that we have our colleagues who will be doing things that seem not to be professional. So he mentioned a situation where you have a scientist who should know A is practicing B. And I told him that as a profession, we should be interested in mentorship. We should get people, not assume that everybody who studied medical lab should be at the same level. And even at the workplace, you should know the limitations of every system and train people. Now, as a client service supervisor, what have you identified as our needs or the changes we have to put in place in gaps in terms of client management? What are the gaps you have identified
Dr.
aside
Pashi,
the ones you've spoken about?
I lost you a bit there. Can you come again, please? Sorry.
All right. So in your submission, you mentioned about the fact that you had an expectation for the scientists that maybe have recommended the sending of the sample that did not meet the acceptance criteria of your lab. And so you indicated that professionalism was zero. Now, competence is not only based on the fact that somebody studied a program and graduated from school. There has to be continuous learning, continuous professional development. In terms of client management, what gaps have you identified, apart from the ones you've spoken about, that we can close to enhance our public image?
Okay. Thank you very much. Yes. So when it comes to the side of the clients, for the staff, you have said we need continuous education, competence assessment. When it comes to the part of the clients, I think we need to educate them. They need constant education as well. One of us, as part of our ISO accreditation preparation, we had a client survey. And then the client was asked, do you keep long when you come to the lab? And then almost all of them said, yes, they kept long when they are waiting in the lab. And so when I came in, we had already done a client waiting time. So the client waiting time at the reception is different from the client waiting time at the report collection. So when you come in, you go to the PRO desk, you go to the billing unit, you go to the bank, you go to the reception, and then you go to the phlebotomy. We had done simulations and realized that for morning shifts, if a client spends between 15 to 25 minutes at the waiting area, reception, it is normal. You have not overweighted. For the reports units, We had a time for that. We had it for morning, afternoon, and for night. Now, any client who comes there and says, I have stayed here, we'll be trying to say, have you been here for long? Once he has spent 15 minutes, he will say, yes, I've been here for long. But per our protocol and simulation, if you spend between 15 minutes to 25 minutes, you have not overstayed. So we realized that we had to educate our clients. So we had to do videos of telling them of if you come here and you spend this amount of time here, it is the normal process. Clients complained that we had to wait for a long time for our results to be ready. We had to do videos. We had to do printouts of our turnaround times that for this test, no matter what, it is 5 days. There's nothing we can do about it. And some of these things can help bridge the gap, make them more comfortable with what the services we are giving them. They understand us and we also understand them. I don't know if I was able to do justice to your question.
All right, so you are doing well. One of the things I learned from my engagement with Gamls, especially with the labor issues, is that professions are paid for their engagement with the public and also their engagement with other professions. So you see that nurses in the morning will go around and do a health education. They would communicate with their clients. So it is good you are bringing these things up. Aside the handbooks we have written and distributed to our clients, there's a need to strategically have a platform to continuously educate them on our processes and get them exposed to the lab sector for them to have a good experience. So we commend you for some of those. And some of us have seen the videos you've done, some of the videos to even educate them on how to collect samples and the rest. And these are some of the innovations we want you to share with our clients. Now, our colleagues here will be rounding up with the questions and we'll give opportunity to people to also share their experience with you. I have had some personal relationship with you. I remember sometimes you come and call me to come and eat your food because you think that I will not have time to eat, and I'm grateful for those level of kindness. So if you were born again, not as a Christian, as a human being, if it will ever happen, do you think that you would have come back to this profession?
Okay, that's a question. Yes, I think if I was born again with circumstances similar to what we have now, I would have come back to this profession. I would have always come back to this profession.
Okay, so we'll delve into that more and look at whether if the circumstances change and it's better, whether you recommend somebody, you continue to recommend people to study our profession. So I'll go back to Emmanuel. Emmanuel, you can ask your 3 questions, then we'll let us in the next 10 minutes round up so that we can give opportunity to others.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Kwashe. And to Dr. Okine, I'm so much impressed with your responses. Your eloquence is worth emulation. I think that my follow-up question was to be on, yes, so in one of your submissions, you did mention that that medical laboratory science has prospects. There is room for career progression. Many of the young folks do not know the career progression in our profession. They do not know which arm of the profession they are supposed to build themselves around and progress. Are you able to share with us, the younger ones that are coming up, the various career progressions in medical laboratory science that would entice and keep us in the profession?
Okay. Salia, thank you very much. Yes, so I'll just mention the fields in MedLab and then we'll go on to the how to progress. So of course we have my department, microbiology, there's the chemical pathology field, there's the histopathology and cytology field, there's hematology field, there's immunology field, there's blood banking, there's genomics. Yes, so all these fields, there is room to progress. In all these fields, you can go into research, you can go into academia, research and surveillance, like I said. So all these areas are ways of progressing. Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much. And so, yes, that is actually impressive. So mostly I would tell my colleagues that you have to, first of all, know yourself, your strengths. I think back in school, students should know where their strengths are. Is it in clinical microbiology, chemistry, hematology, immunology, or histopathology? Then from there, you can take it up. That's impressive. So I would put the other three questions in one fold so that you could just tackle them briefly. Then Dr. Kwashi will take over and wrap up the meeting. Yes, so in your CV, you stated that you have passion for research, public health issues, which I believe would include disease outbreaks like cholera, CSM, and you are also interested in disease surveillance. With your experience, what are the biggest challenges in medical laboratory research and disease surveillance in Ghana that you think you can share with the medical laboratory scientists? Where do we fit in? What role do we play in disease outbreaks or in surveillance? I think some key roles a lab scientist should play in the current trends of the emergence of public health diseases. You realize that we have the neglected tropical diseases and some other viruses that were classified as not pathologic, now re-emerging as pathologic variants. Where do we fit in as medical laboratory scientists? What role do we play in public health and disease outbreaks?
Okay, thank you very much, Salia. So let me just put out this picture. We are there, we hear there's a particular trend occurring somewhere in the country. People are just falling off and dying in the streets, falling off and dying in the streets, falling off and dying in the streets. So if a team is supposed to go in there, before they go, they need to plan. Okay, so in the planning stage, you need the whole medical team, inclusive of the medical laboratory scientists. So in the planning stages of tackling an outbreak, a lab scientist is needed because they will say, oh, okay, if the people after having three loose stools, they pass on, then you should think of the sample you want to collect. Okay. If the people are exposed to a certain thing, a certain air, you should think of the sample you want to collect. A lab scientist will come in here and with these symptoms can say, okay, looking at the condition they are reporting, I think this specimen should be collected. A stool should be collected. A nasal swab should be collected. So in the planning stages of outbreak, lab scientists are needed. Now, in the educational stages, in the testing stages before then, in the diagnosis, a lab scientist is needed. And to be able to diagnose a disease, you should get a good sample. So in sample collection too, a lab scientist is needed for the outbreak. And then the proper testing itself, a lab scientist is needed. For the interpretation of the results, also a lab scientist is needed. And even elucidating or educating the people about the outcome, reporting to the regional or district or regional and national, a lab scientist is needed to proper make meaning to the result that have been made. So when there's an outbreak of disease, a lab scientist is not only glued to the testing. A lab scientist is involved in the planning from the beginning to the end, right? A lab scientist is involved even in surveillance. Okay, so we are important in all stages when it comes to an outbreak of a disease. Let me chip this in. So I have been, okay, so before I chip that in, let me say, so some of the challenges with surveillance or research is the funds, lack of funds, lack of infrastructure, lack of trained personnel to be able to run these tests. Okay. And then lack of policies, lack of protocols to be able to follow for these outbreaks. Now, what I wanted to set example, I have been involved in several researches, but one of the studies that is very important to me, very dear to me, that was somewhere around 2011, 2012. Because of work, I lived in Accra. My parents lived at Zenu, near Ashama, or whether in Ashama, Zenu. And there's this big water body there. I visited, and my mom said, people have been complaining to her that their children urinate blood. So quickly, I said, this could be schisto. Well, I said, okay, because I didn't live there, I didn't know much about the dam. So I walked to the dam and I looked at the dam body, and at the banks, I could see the shells of the intermediate host of the schisto life cycle, the small snails, and I could see the shells in there. And I said, okay, this could be schisto, because the children who were supposed to be urinating blood were going to swim in that water body, right? To go and play, go and fetch water, go and swim, whatever they were exposed to, and they started urinating blood. So as a lab scientist, by then I was in school, I was doing my BSc, I was very busy. So I came to Kolebu and I spoke to now Professor Patience Tetekwako of this thing I have discovered in that area, and that I really wish we could follow it up. So we drove all the way there, and truly realized that this could be schisto. By then, that was in 2012, Zenu was not on the map when it comes to Ghana Health Service neglected tropical diseases or schistosoma control program. Zenu was not on the map. But because of this hint that I gave, I don't know how long this thing was going on, but I think I was very instrumental to put Zenu on the map of Ghana when it comes to schisto. At first, it wasn't there. And because of this, several studies, researches have been going on there. There's been mass treatments, praziquantal mass treatments, directed or targeted treatments. So many studies showing possibilities of people, children who have the cast of the ova in their bladder, which will show signs of future cancer. We have looked at resistance of this praziquantal in there, whether it's resistant that is causing the reinfection or it is actual exposure again. So you see how, as a med lab scientist, this thing was quiet. It wasn't on the national map. When we talk about schisto, we'll talk about Weja, we'll talk about the Volta region. Zenu was not on the picture. But because of my intervention, I will say, we were able to put this information on the map when it comes to Ghana Health Service schisto control program. And the effect is that the children in that town have been helped. They have been told that don't go and bath in that water. If you go and bath there, this is what will happen to you. So you see, med lab scientists, when it comes to outbreak and disease and surveillance, we are all round. Okay, we are all round. Yeah, Ima, I think I'll end here.
Yes, thank you. I think time wouldn't permit us to take this conversation further, but then I was happy when you mentioned funding as one of the obstacles to having a comprehensive research program as medical laboratory scientists. But I'm also so happy that Dr. Courage is on this platform. And probably Gamls should see the need in collaborating with Flock Pharma and other institutions in conducting or in supporting scientists who are ready to undertake some level of research. Over to you, Dr. Kwashe, and thank you so much for the opportunity.
All right, thank you very much. I want to further commend the team behind the scene. This program is driven by people who work closely with the National Secretariat, including Emmanuel Salia himself, Bernard Jan, Dr. Dennis Edugesi. Dr. Edugesi is here. We'll give him the opportunity to share some few words with us. He's very instrumental in planning and selecting candidates for the program. We also have with us our president, Dr. Eric Ofiedu. We'll give him the opportunity to also share some thoughts with us. And one of the things he promised Gamls is to promote research. And one of the things we've learned from this is that as scientists, we can only market ourselves with research, not just anything. Research is one of the ways we can promote the brand of medical laboratory science. Now, I want to find out, with the vast knowledge you've shared with us relating to client management, do you think that our curriculum is rich enough to handle the service provision, especially in the hospital settings or standalone labs? And will you recommend to those of our colleagues in academia to consider also partnering with people in practice, or also rebuilding the program to get these things you've spoken about in the curriculum and the training of the next generation of medical laboratory scientists?
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Kwashi. Yes, so you are right. There is the need for collaboration between the academia and then the practical side to better provide care for our clients. So we can give them feedback. These are the areas we think we need more strengthening when it comes to education, so that we can add it to our programs, so that our med lab scientist comes out holistic. Okay, so there's the need for collaboration between academia and then the practical side. Thank you.
So we would have to find a way of breaking that chain, and as done in other professions, we can get that gap removed so that people in practice can share experience with the student, not only during internship. They have to get some of these things way ahead of time before coming to the workplace. Because we don't have time, I'll give opportunity to the president. He was supposed to speak earlier, but pardon me for this. So, Dr. Eric, no, so we'll still keep it like this. They say when the old man speaks, then the water gets finished. So we'll give him the opportunity, let him listen to us, pick all the suggestions and the things for implementation, and share his closing remarks. I'll still keep it like this. I will now give opportunity to Dr. Dennis Edugesi to make his comments and ask any question he has.
Oh, yes, thank you very much. So I think everything has been said. I'm just encouraged that we still have great people in the profession, for which we are all encouraged to be learning from. And one thing is assured, people at times it's difficult for them to know where they are, there are great people they could learn from. So if you don't take care, inferiority sets in. But I think where Gamls has rate, and the people that we have around us, like Dr. Esther Okine, giving us all these assuring experiences over the last 20 years, it tells that people can have hope and learn from others and know that they also have a secured future. So it's good we have this, and I know it's going to be very encouraging for others to learn from, and assure them that where they are, whether by accident or however they arrived here, they can make it here and still be happy and enjoy the service. That's what I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dr. D, one thing she didn't tell us is that she's a fellow of your college. Maybe we have to find her.
Yeah. I think, I think she's a humble type and maybe wants people to find it out for themselves. But as you said, she's virtually risen through the ranks and we would say a consultant medical lab scientist. So Dr. Esther has done it all, and I'm happy they are not running away from the trade that we all belong to, but they are happy to share with the young ones and all of us and assure us that at least where we are, I keep saying it's not accidental. Many people would have chosen these courses as after second thought, second choices, and all that and stuff. But trust me, it's never by accident we find ourselves where we are, and we can still brighten the corner brighter than we have it now. If others like Esther and those people have made it, the young ones coming should know that the med lab science profession is a great one, and we can't get any better than that. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So there are some comments coming in. We should add customer care services to our programs at the undergraduate level to enrich the curriculum. So Dr. DJC and those of our colleagues in academia, I think the president will also have to take some of these thoughts for implementation. We'll also give opportunity to our PRO to share some thoughts with her. She's doing very well, and let's give her an opportunity to share some thoughts with her.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Dr. BJC has said it all, but I would just add to it that, it's just amazing and heartwarming for us to see ladies climbing up the ladder, and especially Dr. Okain, way back at, Central Lab with Bosco, with Auntie Julie, with Boss TD and all that, right? Way back when I was having my service. So we've worked there before. I went back to do my PhD, my undergrad. I came under her tutorship, right? So for her to be able to take me through again, it was, it was cool. That's somebody you've worked with before. Now she's your boss. She's taking you through. And then now she's doing her PhD, and then she comes to meet me to somewhere else. So it's just nice, so learning and forming that, strong relationship is key because you don't know where you meet your next colleague, right? So in as much as we are in the field together, let's all unite, let's all harmonize, let's all have that team spirit and push each other up. Any opportunity that comes and we think that any of our colleagues can fit in well, let's try it, let's encourage them, and let's be role models for our upcoming MLS. And I believe that together we'll really form a strong foundation in the health sector, and they will be in the forefront and not, behind the scenes. So thank you so much, Dr. Okain. And I believe that more of your kinds will come up to also share their experience with us, and then we can learn from it. So thank you. And we wish that, we'll all learn as we go along. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you very much, Dr. Amagache. So we'll give the final words to the president, and then we'll have a short presentation from Flock Farmer.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Am I being heard?
Very well.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. I've been in my car all this while because I'm in transit, but I've enjoyed this evening's program. And I want to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Okain, who has been a very good friend of mine anyway. That we've been friends for over 20 years. And so I know what she can do. In this moment of professionalism, it is so refreshing to hear one of our very own, share experiences like this. And I was very excited to hear her mention The Bold and Beautiful, because I used to love that soap opera. we will rest, and then go and sit by the TV to watch this beautiful ladies act. Those days, we didn't have a lot of TVs around, and so you have to take your chair and then go to a nearby house who has a black and white TV for you to be able to enjoy it. Bringing all those memories back, yes, I think it's very refreshing. Thank you so much, Dr. Okai. People like you, have served this profession so passionately. And so I think that it's only proper and fine that most of the time we share things like this with you. So I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful for the opportunity. And I also want to thank all members who are able to make time to be with us. I've been studying the participants and I went to 115. It came down a bit, but I think all in all, it's been a very successful program. Let me also thank my GS and his team for doing this monthly mentorship. Yes, I think that it is a very good program. It brings us up to speed, and so I want to also urge them on to keep doing the good work. It is not so easy sometimes to put things like this together, and so I would say they are doing a very good job for the profession. One of the things that I promised in my manifesto was actually to set up a research fund, because I saw that most med lab scientists were not up to speed if it comes to researches and all that. So when I was going on tour, when I was campaigning, I remember I got to Ridge Hospital or somewhere, and I asked them that if your name should be typed in Google, what will come out over there? Is it a research topic that you've embarked on that will pop up, or is it something else? So it was one of the reasons that we saw that we said no, because we sit on data and then people get into our lab and then use this data to make money for themselves. It will be very proper that we have a research fund where members can tap into and also do their researches. And then after doing the research, it's not going to end there, but we were also advocating to also launch a journal where people can also, publish their research and all that. We are still on course, yes, and I believe that before we leave office, we'll make sure this is done. The questions that people have asked means that we need to get this thing done. We are on course and we are still trying as much as possible to fulfill our mandate. And I hope that with support of members and prayers, I believe that we'll be able to do that. But one of the manifesto promises that we have been able to, achieve was actually to appoint a woman PRO for them to, or for her to also inspire some other women. So having a lady PRO who is doing tremendously well, and also having a lady doing this work this afternoon, make me feel very, very happy. The plan for doing that was actually to encourage our women to also come into the limelight and be able to do this. Greater Accra shown us the way by ladies participating in the elections. That is how we want to see in all the regions. And so we believe that we would try as much as possible to set this research fund and be able to also help members in achieving what we want to achieve. So to make long matters short, I just want to wish all of us still a professionalism month. Let us stay professional. And I encourage us that because last week we wore a Gamls attire. It was a Gamls Day. And I saw most people were wearing Gamls attire and posting it. I said it that it is not going to be a 9-day wonder. And we need to keep doing this. And so I expect the same, that tomorrow we'll still wear a Gamls attire. Let it be a Friday something that we'll keep doing all the time. One of the ways that we can brand ourselves is to be seen in our attire and all that. And just yesterday, one council of elder sent me a text and also said that normally when we attend funerals, we are not seen or recognized as Gamls members. So she was also saying that we need to print some black with a Gamls logo and then give to members so that we can wear it when we attend funerals. But these are all ways people feel that we can brand ourselves. So we keep doing that. So I want to thank Dr. DJC also for still keep doing the good job. You know, he served in a capacity of a PRO and then did tremendously well. And it will interest you to know that he's still in his office, because even though Dr. Amagache is doing all the work publicly, there are people who are also behind her, and we've seen all this success. And I think that Dr. DJC is also one of the people who is still inspiring Dr. PRO in doing this good job. And so I thank him very much. And all the team members, I'm grateful for you still loving the association and doing the good job. We will succeed once we are very united. And so I want to thank you all for staying on. And then we still have some programs that will come up in this month and next month as well. Next month is IBBLS Day. So we'll have some programs also. There's going to be a challenge that I don't want to bring it out now. So let's all stay tuned and then keep watching. I think that is going to be a very interesting one. So thank you for the opportunity. Yes. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, President. But we'll have to break protocol. It will be unfair for our senior colleague to be here and will not hear from the participants. I think people have questions for her. People want to tap some blessings from her. So if you have any questions, suggestions, ideas to share with her, you can just raise your hand. We'll give you the opportunity to do so. Or if you have any testimonial about her, you can just let us know so that we give you the opportunity. Okay, I think there's none. We also we'll continue to recognize senior colleagues among us. I can see Senior Kofi Stroda. I can see many senior colleagues joining us. It means that our sister has done something very well. I can see Senior Marilyn Mate, Dr. Noble Dika, Nyami Boatin. I can see the chairman of the Kolebu chapter of Gamls showing support. I can see my brother Richard Tehuda and many others. I can see Deputy Chief Ya Sewa Adai. I can see a lot more. Dr. Teresa Salifu and the rest. So we are grateful for your time. So far as there's no question, no testimonial, we'll give opportunity to Dr. Courage Asasi to give us a brief presentation.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. General Secretary. Please permit me to stand on the existing protocols to do this short presentation. Essentially going to be in about 5 minutes to 10 minutes. And if you permit me, I'm trying to share my screen as well. I don't know whether I can be seen, if I can hear feedback.
We cannot see your screen now.
Trying to share. Whilst I'm trying to do that, permit me to say that I've also happened to be a student of Dr. Esther. And one thing that has amazed me over the year is the fact that she remained evergreen. She's still as young as I met her in 2005. And it's amazing the work she is doing. continue to be an inspiration to us. And the good Lord is to reward you abundantly. Please, can my screen be seen now?
No.
No, please. No, we can't see your screen.
Whoa. Technical. I have only 3 slide presentation. And
if you don't mind, you can share the slides with me and I can share for you.
Okay.
But before you come in, I saw a hand
Yes, if
up.
there are other things you can do. So
Yes, I saw the hand of my senior patient, thanks. Anti-patient, what do you have
hello.
for us?
Hello.
Hello, kindly go ahead.
Yes, I want to thank my sister. I call them big sisters. She and then Sister Joanne and then Kezia. In fact, I share in their same path how they manage to enter into laboratory. And I will say personally, because of their enthusiasm and then their passion for it, I also tapped into that and I'm running with it. So I agree with him. Mentorship, those who are coming, our young people, they are confused. Sometimes they are into it because their parents says they should pursue lab. Or as a previous person said, they wanted medicine and they diverted. So I have taken it upon myself. Anyone that steps in my lab, by the time you finish your course, you would have gotten a change of mind. You would have loved the lab job because appearance, how I will present it, how I will live it, you will just love it. So I think we should all take it upon ourselves to mentor those who are coming because they don't know. When we give it to them, then they run with it. Like as it was given to me when I was in Central Lab. Dr. Osha and the others, they impacted. So I'm also impacting. So we should continue. And the laboratory will be growing stronger and stronger. And people will really know our worth if we carry ourselves well. So I thank Dr. Okan very much for still staying relevant and still evergreen, as Dr. Kari said. I'm grateful. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We are happy she has inspired you and you are also inspiring. It means that mentorship should be a chain. We need to continue to mentor people and share the love as we practice the profession. We are grateful for sharing this with us. And we also want to encourage all of us on this platform to get the opportunity to impact a life. Let somebody change her mind, his or her mind for the better towards the professionalism we are preaching. Thank you very much. So this program actually came handy and it fit well into the celebration the president has instituted. Courage, are you ready?
Mr. Kwashi, Dr. Kwashi.
Yes.
Whilst I still struggle to get the slide to you, my director is on the line. I want to just share a word or two. If you can just unmute him to do that. I actually invited him to join in the latter stages, and he's here with us. So if you can just unmute him to just share.
Okay.
I'm slide with you.
Kindly, what's the name on? What name is he using so that I can? Okay. Let me just change the settings so that he can.
Okay, please.
Have access to.
Okay.
Just give me some few minutes.
Yes, please.
All right. Director, CEO Kenny, kindly unmute and address us.
Hello all. Dr. Solomon, can I be heard?
Very well.
Wow, I was listening, and I think this is a good program. The mentorship is good. Especially, like they say, expectations drive behavior. So, what tell me was that the new generation people always need to learn from the old generation. And this is one of the things which gladden my heart as a CEO of where knowledge is being shared. And like we have a little presentation by Dr. Courage on I think the Regents Club. And for me, one of the things which gladdens my heart, one of the people was sharing that some people wanted, whenever they came to the lab, how she handled herself, they were very happy and they changed their mind. So I think this is where we all are. We have to brighten the corner where we are. And we at Flog Pharma are very, very proud to be associated with Gamls. I am personally moved that Gamls even honored us last year with an honorary membership. So for us, Gamls is a part of all that we do, and it's a fulcrum around which we revolve. We can never actually go without Farmer Regent Club. Yesterday, we launched this M680 at UGMC, and the GAMS leadership was there as usual to be part of what we launched. So we want to support you. We want you to be a part of what we do. We might not have all the answers, and we don't have all the answers. We want to learn. We want to grow with the organization and be a part of you. We want to have a lot more of your people working with us. One of the things we are believing God to do this year is to have over 20 medical lab scientists actually being embedded with us in various regions. So thank you very much, Dr. Solomon and the team. And I think Dr. Courage can take over.
Thank you very much. So you didn't tell them that yesterday I won some lottery at the event. What I also did was I shared the coupon with other people. So next time,
wonderful.
Next
That's
time,
me. I was there, but he didn't share with me. Please, I didn't get
before I left there, I distributed it. So what we want to do is that the next time, we'll give opportunity to Flog Pharma again the next time, and I know people will win some awards on this platform.
Definitely, and not only awards. Like I said, we want to employ a lot of. We've now opened in Kumasi, we are opening in Sunyani, we are opening in Tamale. So for us, we need GAMS as our bag because we are employing medical lab scientists in all these regions, not only in Accra, in Aflao, and all, so that we can come together and actually do a very, very good job. Thank you very much for the audience. Dr. Corey, you can take over.
I can testify that a lot of our colleagues, including Dr. Asasi and the young ones, have been employed by your organization. And some of the platform we use is this platform to tell people that our work is beyond the bench. We can be marketers, we can be in research, regulation, production, and the rest. So one of the reasons for this platform is to open our eyes to the varied opportunities available so that we can position ourselves and also contribute in other areas. Thank you very much. Dr. Sasi, are you ready now?
Yes, I made a request in your WhatsApp platform. You can just check. But essentially, my director has just summarized what I want to share. For us at Flog Pharma, I'm pleased to have the uncommon opportunity to work with my director, who I would say is a visionary. I'm not singing his praise because he's here, but I readily associate with the drive he has to, in our own local way, commit to changing the status quo of healthcare provision for all Ghanaians. And that we are committed to doing by collaborating with all people who matters. GAMS is no exception. We are enjoying the relationship with GAMS and want to do much more. We are in collaboration with medical superintendents. We are in collaboration with Ghana Association of Ghana GMA. Beyond that, all the stakeholders that matters in the health industry, we are interested in helping to reshape the narrative around healthcare delivery. And to that end, we are committed to providing excellent care, excellent equipment, correct reagent that can affect people's life directly. I wouldn't want to bore us so much. This year, our team revolves around the theme consolidation, exploitation, and exploration. All facilities that we are working in currently. My director will say that we are like a opportunistic infection. Once we got an opportunity to enter a facility, we want to expand, we want to do much more than we are doing currently. It may be that we are doing just chemistry line. We want to expand to do immunoassay. We want to expand to do hematology. We want to expand to do much more that we are doing. So we want to consolidate with all facilities that we are working with. And those people who were present at the UGMC yesterday can attest to the fact that when it comes to the UGMC laboratory now, it's one of the ultra modern laboratory as far as technology and equipment is concerned. We can confidently say that Progr Pharma is playing a major role in that. I wouldn't doing this just because it's UGMC. No, every facility that matters in healthcare delivery, we are interested in working with them. So it's not just the UGMC, it's not just the Trust Hospital, it's not just the Lekman hospitals, but every facility across the country. Once we sit down around the table and have a discussion, we can have a way to go. We also want to exploit all the potential that we have. I mean, we can't just go to a facility and be doing only disposable, whilst we have the potential to do much more than that. So we want to exploit all the areas as far as our strength is concerned as a company. And finally, we want to explore. So when you see what we are doing currently, we are integrating regions upon region. My director just mentioned a few. We are moving from region to ensure that we fully integrate to be able to serve the regions better. As far as expertise are concerned, engineers are concerned, R&D staff are concerned, and I'm happy I'm part of that team, R&D team, which is including all medical laboratory scientists that the company is recruiting. And I'm very sure, I'm sure our portals will be open again where more scientists will be added to the rank and file of the company. And I want to say that our director actually believes in scientists because he himself is a scientist. In fact, some of his colleagues are actually diverted into the laboratory practice and they're in practice. So he believes in what we are doing. He believes that the laboratory is the bedrock of healthcare delivery. So we are excited about what the future holds for us. I heard much more about the research work. Hopefully by the first half of this year, Progr Pharma should have our ultra modern research laboratory that we are putting up at our headquarters. And this is actually a collaboration between Gamls and Progr Pharma. We want to have a dedicated research facility where people in academia, students who want to do their research programs can easily and comfortably find themselves at a facility where they can run their samples at a very considerate terms and conditions and come out with results that can influence decision making. And hopefully this school, apart from the research lab, we're also looking at having a training center. The training center is ready. We are writing the curriculum currently where we have people who have gone to school and have, I mean, of course, our schools have a lot more theoretical knowledge rather than the practical knowledge. Where after school, they can come to our training institute where they can have a first-hand practice of all ranges of equipment and instrument that they will need in their field of work. This is to prepare the entire medical laboratory professionals who are coming out of school to be able to serve the country better. These are just few plans that we are putting in place. And in this year, our main target, our main goal is to cure a certain shortfall that we have identified. The shortfall of reagent shortages across the country. I I'm not used to that. I used to just put a lot of pressure on my procurement manager then that we need reagent, and we coming around. All of a sudden, just bring some and we use. But I realized that reagent shortages are perennial. From time to time, the country experiences waves of shortage of reagents, where all of a sudden people are just coming around looking for reagents. And I had an uncommon opportunity to travel a number of laboratories. A lot of machines are packed, not because the machines are not good, but because there are no reagent to use on those machines. So our director, through his innovation, has come up with that. No, we have to cure that canker. And my seniors and my brothers, we are actually living in an era of data. Without data, it's impossible to be able to deliver our best optimum care. So the Flock Farmer Region Club is an initiative, let me call it a presidential initiative to curb the shortage of reagents in the country. And we are also fully aware that there are inferior reagents that a lot of facilities use. Unfortunately, not many people are able to tell that these reagents are actually not original reagents. And if our head of engineer were to be here, he would have told us that a lot of these inferior reagents actually affect the baths of the analyzers that we bought with so much money. And at the end of the day, they'll begin to give us results that are not of quality. So to curb the influence of inferior reagents into the system, we want to have a system where all facilities who are signing up with us can have a consistent supply of original reagents for their analyzers. What that will mean is that outcomes of results that are coming up are up to dates and up to speed and are able to produce the needed result that they are needed to take care of our clients. So in terms of shortages, we want to cure that. In terms of original reagents, we want to cure that. In terms of quality assurance, a lot of people are now implementing quality management systems. We want to, even within all facilities that will sign up with us, have samples that are run between these facilities to assure that even internally, we are able to check and balance all the activities of other analyzers to ensure that everybody is at par. It shouldn't be that if you are in Accra, then you are getting a good result, but if you're in Tamale or Bolgatanga, then everything, no. We want to have a system where we can check that. So that's one of the things that the Region Club will actually bring on board. And of course, once you have signed up to us with data, you are going to have a trusted source of reagent all year round. All right. And beyond that, Flock Farmer, as we know, is now a member of the association. Last year, we were honored, as director has said. We want to not winner take all attitude. So everywhere, every facility that we go, we want to leave a footprint in that facility. And a number of us who are familiar with the recent happenings, we saw that in Trust Hospital, we saw that in UGMC, and many other places that don't actually come into the limelight. Everywhere that we work, we actually dedicated a fund from the business from that facility to actually support the facility. And beyond that, we are also looking at online training platforms that will actually come with certifications with all facilities that will sign up with us. So the fear that, oh, they are just interested in business is actually far from that. We are in and want to solve a problem so that together we can give a better healthcare to our dear nation. Thank you so much for the uncommon opportunity, and thank you for the initiative to actually influence people beyond all the quarters of our space. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Solomon, if I could add one final thing before Dr. Courage signed off. One other thing we are also doing with the Regent Club is they are going to be, so for everybody who signs up, you're just going to, it's a simple way to sign up. You go to our website, you can just sign up. But all facilities who sign up will have a loyalty card. So that loyalty card, you use it to redeem points. So when you are part of the Flock Farmer Regent Club, when you are buying the Regent, the first time you buy the Regents, you have a discount on the Regents already. Secondly, anytime you buy the Regents, the card automatically gives you points. So as you buy, let me give a facility. Let's say facility Flock Farmer is buying the reagents. They are storing points. So you get to a point. Let's say by the second quarter, you can receive one set of reagents for free. It's like the way when you fly, you have these loyalty programs. When you go to Melcom, you have the Melcom card. This is the exact thing that we are doing. So wherever you go, you even need if you have the Flock Farmer card at the facility you are working with, you get a discount. Whoever is also working with the card also gets a personal discount. And people will say that, why are we doing that? Are we doing that to buy others? And I always tell the people that we are not buying anybody. If we have data, you can see that we are already supplying majority of the people. But what surprises me is that there are times even we ourselves go to a facility. I was telling one of the medical directors that my mother's younger brother died in a facility in Koforidua, and he didn't get access to a lab. By the time he was sent to the regional hospital, he was almost gone. So what we are doing, it's for ourselves. We want to make sure that standardization drives across. So what better way to say that? Oh, join the Flock Farmer Regent Club. When you join the Regent Club, by virtue of you being on the Regent Club, your machines get serviced for free. We are not saying you are joining the Regent Club and then the prices of the reagents will be increased. The same prices that you are getting for the reagents. And you are even getting the reagents at a much more better price. All we desire from you is your data, not giving us people's names or anything. No. All we need is that I do LFTs, this quantity, this, so that we can import to make sure that you don't run short of the reagents. I think for us, this is Christmas come early. So I'd like to once again thank Dr. Solomon and Gamls for like Dr. Corey, you say, for the opportunity to share your platform, and thank you very much for giving us the audience.
Thank you very much. And one thing I can say is that Courage was my mate and a roommate for that matter. And I can say that I'm proud of him. If today we can have our people marketing, it means that we can have a lot more going into marketing and other fields to also contribute to the supply chain management. So let's encourage people to also venture into this field, set up and also work with companies like Flock Pharma and the rest to brighten the corner of medical laboratory science. We also want to recognize the presence of the president of the Women's Wing, Dr. Masa. The name is difficult to mention for me. D. Lamte, Johnny Lamte. I'm not able to pronounce the name very well, but somebody guided me. So we recognize your presence and all our senior colleagues who joined us. So at this point, we want to just take some final words from our guests. Yes. Can you just, Dr. Okay, share your final thoughts with us and promise us that the next time we invite you here, you will share better experiences of your practice.
Okay. Dr. Kwashi, thank you very much once again. I want to say that as a human being, you need to believe, you need to have a faith system, believe in a higher body, believe in God, because he will help steer and direct the affairs of your life. And when it comes to the career, be passionate about what you are doing. Have satisfaction, have contentment with what you are doing. Nurture your work, grow it, have connections, learn more, get more exposure, celebrate your successes, and finally, mentor people in their career. And with this, we will see MedLab Science career and Gamls grow better. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we continue to recognize the brand Flock Pharma. We recognize your partnership and we encourage us to do business with Flock Pharma to advance our practice. We also want to say thank you to the team, Dr. Edujesi, Benajan, Salia, and the rest of the team, including the staff at the National Secretariat that help in the coordination of this program. We also want to say a thank you to our president for the vision and also supporting the drive. He's very passionate about the practice. And if you look at the presentation of Pharma, you realize that the suppliers are trying to be innovative. It means that we also have to position ourselves very well to meet these innovations from the partners of the profession. So, President and the rest of the team, thank you very much for giving us the permission to host these programs. The good news is that this program is live, and after this program, we can see the streaming of it on YouTube. So we can go back and listen to it and share with other people. Thank you very much, and we wish you a happy Professionalism Month. Other things will come up. The president has hinted us of some challenges that will come in the future. I don't want to give details of it. At the right time, what he has for us, he will share with us, and would all benefit from the blessings of the profession. So on that note, we'll have another session next month, and it will be better and better as the days goes by. Thank you and a goodbye.